There have been an increasing number of cases in which people are turning into zombies. It has been determined that they have been infected by a virus. It is highly suspected that these viruses are of plant origins. There are two viruses which have become particularly dangerous. Some of the plants they commonly infect include crop plants such as the tobacco and the tomato plants. Common symptoms on the common tobacco plant include mosaic-like patterns, mottling, necrosis, stunting, leaf curling, and yellowing of plant tissues. The symptoms were described as a mixture of dark green and light green areas. Plants also take on a leaden gray color and the tobacco was extremely bitter to the taste. The following picture shows symptoms of afflicted plants which may be disturbing to sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Another virus of note often infects the tomato plant, and cause the plant to exhibit symptoms such as a wide variety of mosaic patterns and distortions to the leaves and stunted growth of the plant, which is generally more severe when young plants are infected. In the initial stages, small, light brown flecks first appear on the leaves. These spots later turn brown, followed by a general browning of the leaves which eventually die and appear drooped on the stems, giving the appearance of wilting. Green fruits of plants show yellow or brown concentric rings, which alternates with the background green color, while conspicuous brown rings occur on red ripe fruits. The virus may also cause the discoloration of seed produced by infected hosts. Symptoms of the tomato spotted wilt differ among hosts and can be variable in a single host species. There are no visible signs of the virus pathogen, as it is too small to be seen by the naked eye. However, the viruses are often carried by bigger vectors which may be seen without the microscope. Due to the increasing concerns of the viral infections, in a special report by our correspondents Estelle, Hannon, Cian and Jody, we have invited Professor Albert Einstein II to speak with us on these viruses and the plant diseases caused by them. Correspondents? Over to you.
Hello young uns. It's a pleasure. Yes, before we wax lyrical on the diseases, let's start off with the tobacco mosaic disease that affects the all-important crop plants. The name of the virus which causes this disease is Amulatamento, commonly known as the tobacco mosaic virus, and it affects plants from the Solanaceae family. Affected plant species include the Nicotiana glutinosa and Nicotiana tabacum, which is also known as the tobacco plant. No, I'm not speaking Greek, neither am I drunk. Not all the time anyway. Hahaha. Tobacco mosaic virus, TMV, is actually really common and this often results in crop losses by reducing the yield and quality of flue-cured tobacco. This will mean profit losses to the farmers who grow these crops. The most characteristic symptom is a mottled appearance of the leaf, alternate areas of light and dark green tissue. For sure. Tobacco mosaic virus differs from other viruses that infect tobacco in two ways. First, it is very resistant to destruction. It will survive for at least 50 years in dead, dried tissue, while other viruses become inactive when their host plant dies. This is because the tobacco mosaic virus is very stable, so stable that it can survive for years in cigars and cigarettes made from infected leaves. Second, the virus is primarily transmitted mechanically, which means coming in contact with injured cells of a host plant, while other viruses typically need insects as vectors to transmit. Yes, although primary infection can occur any time during the growing season, the most critical time is during transplanting, during which plants infected at this time will show mosaic symptoms in 2 to 4 weeks. Tobacco, as with all other successful crops, is often subjected to continuous cultivation as monocultures, which is the planting of large tracts of a single crop, often, year after year on the same plot of land. As a result of intensive cultivation, these tobacco plants deplete the soil of essential nutrients and the subsequent plants become more susceptible to the disease, and if there are infected plants from the previous season, the virus is able to survive in leftover plant remnants in the soil and affect the next season of plants. Then it's hasta la vista Bobby. The spotted wilt disease of tomato was first described in Australia in 1915, and was determined to be a viral etiology in 1930. The virus that affects the tomato plant is known as the tomato spotted wilt virus, with the genus being Tospotvirus, family Bunayaviridae. Tospotvirus, and is famous for affecting the Leuca persicum esculentum, also known as the tomato plant. The disease is known as the tomato spotted wilt. Tomato spotted wilt virus can cause damage by stunting plants, drastically reducing yields, and causing irregular ripened fruit. Symptoms on hosts affected by tomato spotted wilt may differ, and can also vary in a single host species. However, stunting is a common symptom of tomato spotted wilt virus infection, and is generally more serious when young plants are infected. As tomato spotted wilt virus infects over 1,000 plant species, this can cause significant economic damage to many agronomic and horticultural sectors. Tomato spotted wilt affects both the quantity and quality of plant products. For example, although tomato spotted wilt may not be transmitted by seeds, it may cause the discoloration of seed produced by infected plants. In some areas, the virus has been found to be pervasive in the environment, as it can infect many weeds, landscape plants, and native plants. The virus has very wide host range, including tomato, pepper, potato, tobacco, lettuce and many other plants. The tomato spotted wilt virus is the only virus transmitted in a persistent manner by certain thrips species. At least 6 strains of tomato spotted wilt virus have been reported, the symptoms reported, and the range of plants infected vary among strains. There are virtually no cultivars of major crops with significant levels of resistance to the tomato spotted wilt virus that have remained resistant in the field for more than a few years, due to the characteristic rapid adaptation of new forms of the virus to resistant cultivars. Although it is previously a threat only to crops produced in tropical and subtropical regions, today, the disease occurs worldwide. This is largely because of the wider distribution of the western flower thrips and movement of virus-infected plant material. Thrips deposit their eggs into plant tissue and the eggs hatch after 2 to 3 days, depending on the temperature and the plant host species.
Thank you, correspondents. And that concludes the end of our special report. See you next week, same time, same channel. Have a good day ahead. Goodbye.